Okay, we are live. Happy Quick Tip Tuesday, Super Pros. I did actually admit probably like 40 or 50 new members to the group yesterday that had been sitting in the membership queue um, for a time. So, welcome to the Super Pro group. If you're watching this for the first time, once a week we come to you with a quick tip, and oftentimes it'll just be me talking about something business related, Housecall Pro related, or we'll bring on a product team member to talk about a feature. And occasionally we have the pleasure of bringing on an actual super pro. Um, and usually we'll just do an interview, but today we have like a really kind of a special presentation. Franklin Hooglander, who is one of our most engaged super pros of Treasure Valley Solutions and now of HSP Automation, is joining us today to kind of talk about ways you can probably improve your business and your processes and automate some things and save yourself a lot of time and money and headaches. Anyway, Franklin, I'll let you talk about that. Before we begin, why don't you do an introduction, tell everyone who you are, kind of your background a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hi everyone. It's Franklin with, like Chris said, Treasure Valley Solutions, and I just recently started another company, HSP Automation. My background is pretty diverse. I started as a systems admin right out of college, and then eventually ended up in software development and software testing for almost a decade. And then I kind of got tired of that life and decided to start a smart home technology company a little over 5 years ago. So that's where Treasure Valley Solutions was born. So we're a smart home automation company. So we do everything from like video doorbells to in-home theater rooms and everything in between as far as that goes. And then as we started growing, we started to look for a good software solution, and then we ended up with Housecall Pro. And actually today is our 1 year anniversary of using Housecall Pro, which is just super coincidence because I just got the email. I didn't even realize it. I just saw it in my email. I'm like, oh, sweet, this is like my 1 year anniversary. So, and apparently, according to the email, we did like 679 jobs this year and got 325 reviews. So I think that's pretty good stats, for using the software. So I think that was pretty cool. So, and then, one of the reasons we've been able to do so many jobs and be pretty successful with Housecall Pro is I used my background as a software developer and software tester to build in a lot of automations, and I ended up creating my own Zapier integration, which I am now basically started my second company around HSP Automation, which stands for Home Services Pros Automation. So yeah, basically helping other service pros, home service pros, to automate the back end of their business. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So
Well, that's wrapping up your career in a short package there, but you've done a lot, and congrats on the 1 year anniversary. That's what a coincidence.
yeah, I didn't even know. I was just literally just checking my email just before this. I'm like, oh, sweet. I guess I should mention that. So
That's perfect timing. And Franklin, you became a super pro, I don't know, maybe 8 months ago. I mean, it was relatively early into your time with Housecall Pro, but
yeah, I
immediately.
think it was like 6 weeks in of using Housecall Pro. So yeah, it's more like 10 months
Okay. It's
ago.
I know you came in and Franklin, you were like one of the most engaged pros we have, and you had so much great feedback, and you've developed a reputation, at least internally, as someone that we really want to talk to when we're working on different features, because you just have a real acumen for understanding how things work, and your feedback has been really valuable. I could tell in the first week you were a super pro. I was like, this guy is going to be great.
Yeah.
So just
Well, I guess my software testing and software development background definitely helps with that too. I've like I did software testing for almost 3 years, so I did a lot of testing on software and kind of usability testing and stuff like that. So it kind of helps to have that background. And yeah, I know I've been talking with, I think I've been pretty much every single beta right now and talking to every single product team to give them feedback. So I'm glad, happy to help out because as with our business, we are truly committed to Housecall Pro. We switched everything we do to Housecall Pro. We had a different voice over IP system. We now use Housecall HCP voice. We had different, um, timekeeping system. We use, um, Housecall Pro for that now. We use the expense cards. We use pretty much every feature that Housecall Pro has. We use so.
Perfect. Well, you're definitely engaged, and not only are you using all of the things that are at your disposal, like those alphas and betas, but you're also winning competitions at our virtual summits. So last thing before we jump into HSP automation, and like I want to talk about the Yeti cooler. The virtual summit, the HCP virtual summit 2024 was a few weeks back, and we had a contest, and we're giving away a Yeti cooler. And Franklin took home the Yeti cooler, and I think he got a Super Pro sticker that came
Yep.
with it, so you could throw it on
Yeah,
there.
yeah, we did that. I posted it on Facebook. It was like a little over a week ago, I think. So I actually used it today for the first time. So we sponsored an event today at the local Building Contractors Association, and I needed a cooler to store drinks in. So it was filled with orange juice and water today, and it was sitting out there. So uh, I don't think I took a picture. My wife may have, but if she did, I'll post the first picture of the actual usage of the cooler. So.
Cool. Well, I'm glad we're helping you stay hydrated and getting lots of vitamin C.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about HSP automation. Also, you're okay. I want to give some background. Not only is Franklin running Treasure Valley Solutions, not only is he starting HSP automation, but he is also writing a book. So this is a man who never sleeps, and he picks up projects
Yeah.
rapidly. So what do you like? I don't know. I'm just so impressed with you. Do you want to talk about that book at all?
Sure. Yeah. The book I'm working on is called Launch Your Blue Collar Business, and it's basically using the story of Treasure Valley Solutions on how I launched my business, what all the things I had to go through, and successfully launching it. Mostly, a lot of the startup, headaches and things like that. How to get it all started, how to register your business, how to, get into networking groups, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I figured, I was relatively successful. I grew Treasure Valley Solutions to $1 million business in about 2.5 years. So most companies don't even get there within like the first 10 years. So I think that was pretty good. And, I figured I had something to tell the world, and just decided to write a book about it. I'm not expecting to be, a well-known author or anything or whatever, but I just wanted to share my stuff with the world for those that could use it, and that's really all my goal with it. Is just plus I kind of wanted to write it down, so that's kind of how I started on the book. So I have the first draft is out for review to a couple of trusted friends and business owners. They are reading it and hopefully giving me some feedback in the next couple of weeks, and then hopefully we'll be able to get a final draft together that's then going to go off to an editor, and then hopefully the plan is to have something actually in print by hopefully September-ish. So it's a little bit of a process. I've been studying up on how Amazon KDP works, and it's a bit of a process, so it takes a little bit of time, but with a little bit of tenacity, we should be able to get through the process and not too long of a delay. So
Well, if there's anyone who's going to figure out how to get it done, I believe it's you. I also want to point out that in addition to a book and two businesses, he mentioned a wife in there. If you're going to maintain all of these projects and still be married, and your wife hasn't left you yet, you have to be good at saving yourself time. Like you have to be good
right,
at
yes.
automating not just your businesses, but your life. So I think you are exactly the man to be talking about what we're talking about today. So let's jump right into HSP automation. What do you well, give us the rundown? Tell us what it is.
Yeah, so basically what HSP automation is, it's, we help other businesses now, automate their back end business. Like I said, when I started Treasure Valley Solutions and started with Housecall Pro, I figured out that, Housecall Pro had an open API. And since I am a software developer, I was like, okay, I should be able to use that. So I built a custom Zapier integration to, be able to use all of the functions of the API that, Housecall Pro has available, and was able to, automate a lot of different things that you couldn't in Housecall Pro, and just reducing my workload by a lot. So one of the things that, for example, I automated is after every single job, I my Zapier automation goes through the job. It reads all the lines of the job, and then based on what service we did or what project or product we sold to the customer, it adds tags to the customer so that we then can run marketing campaigns against it, which we used to run out of MailChimp. Now that Housecall Pro has the marketing center, I'm working on getting all those transferred into there, just so like I said, we really want to focus on one piece of software. I rather just maintain one piece of software than having to do 3 or 4. So as things move around, we'll add that. So that's one of the things that I've automated, which makes it really helpful. It also makes it a lot easier to run reporting now. Like this is an automation I've only done, I don't know, probably in the past 3 months. So my reporting is still kind of catching up, but my reports are already a lot better than they were 6 months ago when I didn't have this automation to get all these tags into customers. So, and then we have other automations as well that kind of keep our team appraised of what's going on. For example, we have another automation that every time a technician clicks the on my way or job started or job finished buttons, it takes that information and it posts it into our operations teams channel, so that my operations manager kind of knows where the technicians are, if he can then kind of quickly determine if they're running behind, if they're running ahead, if we need to shift some jobs around. If one technician's running behind and the other one is running ahead, maybe we switch the next jobs around so they can kind of catch up or things like that, so we can keep our operations streamlined a little bit better. And we do the same thing for sales as well. So if a new estimate comes in from the website, posts in our sales channel, so my salesperson, since I only have one right now, I only have one salesperson, but once we have more, then one of the salespeople can pick up the estimate, reach out to the customer, and everything is kind of automated that way to make sure that we get notifications. Because that's one of the things I've noticed is sometimes the hardest part is for especially if you're busy, even as a technician or as a salesperson or whatever, you tend to miss things, and if you get notified, it just makes it a little bit easier to remember to go check out those things and do something with them. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's just so much. Before Franklin and I jumped on here, we were talking about just how much information we have coming from different places. So if I can get notified in the right space, in a space where I know I'm going to take an action right after that, it can be really helpful.
yeah,
Rather than me having to remember to go search something out. Really, I can't operate today unless something is falling into my lap a little bit to then
right,
push me out the door to take the action. You also
yep,
mentioned the improved reporting. I don't know, like I think about this and I know how much how much value I get out of automated processes, right? Because now I'm not spending the time in the weeds, um, taking action on all these things. It saves me money and time, and it also frees me up to be more creative about whatever my role is, whether I'm a business owner, or like you said, a salesperson. The more time I have back, the more I get to continually improve and get ahead of
right.
my competition. So
Yeah, and of course the other advantage of automation is that it's accurate. It's not human, so there it just does the things that it's set up to do, and it does it every time, and it does it the same every time. Like before, I had a virtual assistant that would go through the jobs every week and apply these tags manually, but she would apply the wrong tags or forget a tag, or so the data wasn't 100% accurate. Whereas now that it's automated, I know it's going to be right every time. So every time we do a TV install, I know that customer is going to get the TV installation tag, so that I can then run a marketing campaign at it, like, hey, we just installed the TV for you. Did you know we noticed that you don't have a sound bar? Do you want a sound bar? Can we sell you one? Can we install you one? Can we recommend you one? stuff like that. So we can do a lot of those follow-up campaigns, and it definitely has helped our sales a lot. We've in the past 3 months, I would say our call volume has almost doubled on, based on, being able to send out some of these automated campaigns, because we do a lot of different things in Treasure Valley Solutions, and a lot of our customers don't even know that, half the things that we do, they think we just do, TV installations, and no, we do a lot more. We do, sound systems, and we do security systems and cameras and roller shades, and, we have probably about 15 or so different product lines that we do. So those automations really help to make sure that we get the right things in front of the right customers. So
Yeah, it sounds like it's really hitting down on a granular level, the strategy, and then the allowing you to implement the correct tactics to just get the best results.
yep.
And even like you're mentioning the elimination of human error, um, which I mean, I don't know if you can ever eliminate all human error, but like what you're saying is completely accurate. You're removing the possibility of the human error when the automation is just
Right.
running the process. So, and it like with the reporting, that's very valuable because it enhances the level of detail you're getting in the reporting, as well as increasing the reliability of it. And the better information I have, the more informed and quality decision making my process is going to be. So.
Yep, for sure. So,
I love I love what you're doing. First of all, I felt like we had one of our someone who handles our APIs um and integrations like that. Matthew Hoover. He joined us for office hours probably a couple months back, and Franklin was
right.
there. And Franklin, you started talking about automations and what you could do with Zaps, and it was really exciting. So, do you want to maybe show us like some of what you can do? Do you want to
Yeah,
take the reins here and share your screen?
sure. Yeah, I can share my screen. I can just kind of show how to just create a quick zap, that I think would be useful for people. So I just here on a little demo Zapier account. So one of the things that, like I said, we do a lot of zaps after job has been done. So let's go create a zap that it's a fairly simple zap, but basically it's just going to add the thank you tag to each customer after we complete a job. And then in Housecall Pro, I have it set up that, the thank you tag is what the postcard service triggers off. So everybody that has a thank you card will get a postcard in the mail. So, and it's so easy to set up. Everybody can do this even if you can just click around. It's not really complicated. So, and that's what makes it nice to have this, Zapier integration that I created. So basically, as the trigger, we're going to use the HSP automation Zapier integration. And then in this case, since we're going to do something after a job is completed, we're just going to get the completed jobs from Housecall Pro. And you can just click next. I already have the account configured. Normally, the first time you go through this, it will ask you for your API key from Housecall Pro to make sure that we have access to the data. But since I already set that up, I don't have to do that. And now basically, I can click test trigger to get the last couple of records back from Housecall Pro for completed jobs. So as you can see, it pulled in 3 records, and you just basically use one of them to have some data to work with when you're creating your action. So I'm just going to click continue. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same automation. So it's the HSP automation. And in this case, I'm going to create an action. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a tag to a customer. And again, I use the same account, and the action I'm going to do. So this particular action requires 2 pieces of data. It requires the customer ID, and it requires the tag that you want to add. So since we got the completed jobs from the trigger, we can use that data. So I just click on here, and to find the customer ID, I just type in customer ID, which then gives me the sample data. So basically what it does, it's going to use this piece of data every time. So in this case, with the test data, it's going to use this particular customer ID, and it's a really long number. That's why it has the dot, dot, dot. But every time this triggers, it will just use whatever the customer ID is of the last job that, goes through here. And like I said, we just want to add the thank you tag to this customer. And basically that's really all of that is needed. So this is just a very simple automation that you can really quickly make to make sure that all of your customers just get that thank you tag and just get that postcard mailed to them, because it's important to keep in touch with your customers. So, and as you can see, if I scroll down in this data, now you can see that it has this thank you tag added, because basically the API will return, hey, here's the customer record and here's all the tags and stuff that have been added. So as you can see, it has been added as one of the tags. So, and now I can click publish, and then it can start running for every job we completed. So as you can see, automation is not super hard, especially not if you have the right tools, like the Zapier integration we created. So I think that's kind of just what I wanted to show, just super simple. Obviously you can get really, really complicated with all kinds of other automations, but start out simple, build out your knowledge on how Zapier works, and then you can start making things more complicated. And
Yeah.
I will, as part of the HSP automation stuff, I'm working on creating training videos and stuff like that to show people how to first start with basics, and then we're gonna do some intermediate levels apps, and then we'll probably do some expert levels apps as well as part of the training and stuff that we'll be providing. So
Now, Franklin, I want to say you said this is simple, but and it is for you. I know it's simple for you, but for me, and maybe for a lot of pros, this is not simple. I got inspired watching that office hours where you all were talking about Zaps, and I went to Zapier and I started playing around with it. And I mean, within an hour and a half, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna need to like lean on people who know more than I do about this stuff, because it just wasn't it was just a different language for me. And I'm sure it is
right,
simple. You have some background, but
sure,
I totally see how it's valuable to have um, an expert, a subject matter expert, or someone who has things set up who can help out. So
right,
that's why I'm glad to have you on today. I think you are in a good position to help our pros really change the way that
right.
their business.
Yeah, and that's one of the other things with HSP automation. We're also offering, if you want us to just build everything for you, we can work with you and just build the automations for you, maintain them for you, and just take all that work out of your hands as well. So
So,
because some people just don't want to deal with it. So
and I dropped the link to your website. So that's one way to get in contact with. I mean, how do you? These are everyone watching today is a super pro. We're all in the same group.
right.
Would you want them to just exclusively go to your website and contact you that way, or would you be open to them just shooting you a DM
Yeah,
or
just shoot me a DM, or you know reply to a post or whatever. Yeah, just get a hold of me. So you can always email me at info@hspautomation.com as well, and yeah, we can go from there. So
awesome. Jessica is watching, and she said, "Is this only available for the highest Housecall Pro package, or all of them?" So,
no, yes, it is only available for the Max plan, because the Max plan is the plan that gives you access to the API on the Housecall Pro side, which is what you would need to be able to do these automations with.
and I do think, Jessica, I do think it's worth it. I mean, again, like just what Franklin, I'm not sure when you joined, but what Franklin was describing at the beginning, one, it improves the reliability and the level of detail and the quality of information you're reporting. It's going to allow your sales team to be better at their job, more responsive, quicker. You're eliminating work that needs to be done manually through this. So you're getting, you're still paying, potentially, depending on the size of your organization, you're paying um, your employees to do things, but you're paying them to make less mistakes and open their time up to be more creative and use their time more effectively. So I think it does,
Right.
like, it just pays for itself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think with just the automations that I made for Treasure Valley Solutions, it probably saves my employees 4 to 6 hours a week, if not more, on not having to manually do all this stuff, manually check everything and things like that. So it's well worth it, especially, if you're looking at, average employee cost of, I don't know, what, $50 an hour, including benefits and whatever, 4 to 6 hours a week, you're looking at, $200 to $300 a week. So you're looking at $800 to $1,200 a month. You're just saving in just employee costs. So that, upgrade to I don't remember what the max plan is. It's like what, $299 or something or whatever it is right now. For the max plan from $99, so the extra $200 a month, you'll earn it back in no time. So
Yeah, and it's not just the savings on employee costs. It's just like you said, the amount of specificity that you can apply to it. Even that thank you tag, because it is important to stay in touch with customers when they give you a job, like following up, saying thank you, establishing that relationship, is a huge deal. Once you get a first customer, you want to keep that customer around as long as you possibly can.
yes, yeah, it's way easier to sell to an existing customer than it is to a new customer. I think it's 600% more difficult to sell to a new customer than it is to an existing customer. So it's worth it to keep that contact. And the thank you tag in this case doesn't only send out the postcard on our end, but it also starts our automation or our marketing campaign to keep following up with that customer as well. So that's the one that I defined that one in Housecall Pro already in the marketing center. So we send them follow-up emails for the first couple of weeks, probably every week, and then we switch to about every month, and then we just keep kind of following up with them and asking them, is there anything else we can do? Did you know that we do this as well? Things like that. So it's, just getting that tag in there is not, gets us a lot of new business too. I looked at the statistics last week with one of your colleagues at Housecall Pro, because we were talking about it, and my automation campaign that runs off of the thank you tag got me for $45,000 in new business in the past 3 months. So, it's yeah, definitely worth it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited about this. You're gonna be on Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just looking at our comments here. Jessica
Yeah.
said thank you. She said a big thank you. She says love automation and seeing the benefit and sees the benefits. She doesn't think her business is at the point of being able to upgrade just yet. It's just her and her husband wearing multiple hats. I will say that, Jessica, I've been noticing you're super engaged in the group. And if you're not at that point yet, you will be soon. Just traditionally watching people who are engaged like you are, your business will start to work out.
Yes.
So
Yep.
is it
Definitely.
is it like a free discussion with you? Like, can someone, even if someone thinks they're not at the point where they're ready to automate and do this stuff, can they still reach out to you just to start
Oh, definitely. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It doesn't cost anything to reach out, we can talk about things, kind of see where you're at, and, we can just go from there. So,
Yeah. I think that's worthwhile. Every time I've been on a call with Franklin, I've gotten something out of it. So anyway, I love that you're doing this. Office hours is every Friday. Jessica, I'd love to see you in there, and just be able to meet you in person well, I guess virtually in person for the first time. But it's once a week we do a webinar where it's just exclusive to super pros, and we'll just kind of talk shop. But this Friday, Franklin, you're going to join
yep,
us,
I'll be there. So,
and we'll be talking about automations, and y'all can answer or ask questions to Franklin yourself, and kind of put them to the test. So
sounds good. Looking forward to it. So,
yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to mention before we go?
no, I think, that was about it. So,
Awesome. Okay. Well, Franklin, thank you so much for joining. I always appreciate it. And Super Pros, we'll see you on Friday at office hours.
okay, sounds good. We'll see you then. Have a good one.
Bye.